Hey crew, how's it going guys? Ollie here. In this video we're going to be breaking down crow pose, or what is also known as Bakasana. It's a great balance and strength exercise, upper body strength exercise, and we're going to work the mobility of the wrists. This is a level 1 phase 1 practice, so it's your first step into the journey of Bakasana, and we're going to go through some flow, a few sun salutations, just to warm up for it and make a bit of a class of it as well. So make sure you've got a couple of yoga blocks handy as we practice a few different variations, and they'll help you out in making faster progress. We're going to start on the mat in child's pose, warm up the wrists and go for a little bit of flow. Join me for this practice. Meet me on your mat in child's pose. Look forward to getting started. All right, so when you're ready, we'll be starting in child's pose on the mat. Knees hip width apart. You're going to touch toes together. Behind you into a little triangle and snuggle your butt down all the way to your hips. Try and soften your hips all the way down to your heels. Rest your chin down on your chest, and we're just going to tune in, concentrate, slow down for a moment, compose ourselves. Bring a little bit of extra attention and awareness to your shoulders and fully extend your arms, stretching through the fingertips. Chin on the chest, close the eyes. Really reaching your arms out over your ears. And then we'll begin a breath count to focus the mind, to warm up the brain for the coordination and skill that is going to have to be prepared for. Oxygenating every part of your body. With the eyes closed, you're just going to count me 3 rounds of what we call Ujjayi Pranayama. Using the full capacity of your lungs. Feel the space between your shoulder blades expand and open up. Hold it there for a moment or two. And then big, deep sighs of relief. Take your time. We're in no rush. You want to relax, soften your throat a little. Resting your chin on your chest helps your thyroid. Using a lot of muscles to breathe to your full capacity. When you've done 3 breaths in the middle, we're going to open up the lats and the intercostals, the ribcage, the obliques. Walk slightly round to one side, about 45 degrees, just a diagonal, not too far. Keep this arm nice and straight. Don't bend those elbows. Keep this long line down the side of the body. 3 big deep breaths into the ribcage. When you've done 3 breaths round to one side, we're going to walk 3 breaths all the way around to the other side. When you've done 3 breaths on both sides, we'll bring ourselves back round to the middle. Should be nice and focused, calm, composed, and prepared for what lies ahead. Whenever you're ready, gently bring yourself up onto hands and knees. We're going to warm up the wrists. A lot of the bulk of this class is actually going to be a lot of preparation. The more we prepare, the more efficiently we can perform. So it's really important to not rush, to go through the motions and to take your time. Warm up the wrists by first big circles. Feel free to move your spine a little. Swing the hips. And then change direction. Trying to lean over your wrists a little more, but keeping the palms attached to the floor. And then when you're ready in the middle, potentially just one hand at a time, you're going to activate your fingers, the tips of the fingers. Just lift the palm up, keep the fingers flat, get this stretch. Maybe one hand at a time, it might lift up a little, but try keep the fingers flat down. And if you can get both hands at the same time, feel free to lift both hands at the same time. And then last but not least, we're going to spin the hands around left and right. If your wrists are really sore and tight, you can just leave it here and start leaning slightly left and right. If you're a little more flexible through the wrists and you want to go a little further, start turning the hands all the way around towards you. Again, keeping the flat of the wrists in contact with the floor, and then we're going to lift the chin. And then this opens up the shoulders a little with this external rotation. Maybe even leaning back. But stay within your own tolerance, remembering control is the aim of the game. And if you've just got your fingers pointing out left and right, you're just gently rocking side to side and exercising that wrist flexion as far as you feel comfortable. Amazing work, really well done. Gently when you're ready. Maybe if you need a yoga block, you can use it to help you get back into hero for a moment, or just sit back onto the feet, shake the wrists off a little, roll them out, take a few breaths. Let the shoulders relax and soften. And then we're going to just warm up the shoulders a little bit by coming into hands and knees and thread the needle. Left hand forward, right arm comes under. Just going to take 5 breaths each side. Really reach, twist and stretch. Reaching the top arm over your ear, maybe even crawling it into the opposite corner of the mat as you twist through your spine. Big, strong breaths. Twisting your digestive system, your internal organs. And then when you're ready, back to hands and knees. We're going to flip it straight over to the other side, right arm out. Bring the left arm under. Again, trying to really crawl that top arm over your ear and maybe even into the other corner of the mat. And then gently, when you're ready, back to hands and knees. Just a big angry cat stretch. I want you to round your shoulder blades, chin on chest. When we're in crow, over time, this is the position we want to create with the shoulder blades. And this straight arm strength where we fully lock the elbows out and get this flexibility through the wrists. When you're ready, big inhale, lift the chin up, cat. Exhale, push, cow. Finishing on an exhale, you're going to bring yourself straight up into your first downward facing dog. We're going to start to move and bring a little bit of energy to this practice. Nice, long and strong through both arms. Push through the feet. And then we're going to shift forward through plank position. Nice, strong yogi plank will warm up the core, the shoulders. Trying to shift onto the tiptoes over time, maybe rocking backwards and forwards. But again, fully lock those arms out. Strong through both hands. Going to drop. Use the knees, chest, chin, chaturanga dandasana. Elbows in tight to the ribs, full inhale, rise up. Little bend of the elbows if your back needs a bit of support. Exhale via hands and knees into downward dog. And then however you want to get there, we're going to walk, step or float, hop into forward fold. Inhale, look forward halfway. Exhale, fold. Bury the chin on the chest, look at the belly button. Straight into a chair pose, bend the knees. Let's warm up a little and get stuck into things. Third exhale, drop, forward fold. Inhale, look forward halfway. Exhale, fold. Walk, step, hop or float back through a plank position. And then down with the knees to your belly, chest, chin. Big inhale, rise up, squeeze the legs and thighs together. Keep it nice and straight. Push the pubic bone down. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Right leg, big kick. Three-legged dog, nice, long and strong crunch. Right knee to nose, pause, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Land the right foot at the top of the mat. Drop the back knee down, however you got to get there. Pull the right foot up with your hand if it helps. Line yourself up, find your balance. Inhale, extended warrior. Try and sink your pelvis, hips to the floor. Create a little back bend, 3 breaths. Third exhale, bring the hands back down by the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. However you want to get there. Walk, step or hop. Meet me in forward fold. Inhale, look forward halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose when you're ready. Third exhale, drop, forward fold. Inhale, look forward halfway. Exhale, fold. Look at the belly button. Walk, step, hop, float back through plank position. Nice, long, strong arms. Shift forward, be strong, be brave through plank. And then down with the knees, chest, chin. Big inhale, rise up through cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. And then left leg, big kick, 3-legged dog. Crunch, left knee to nose, pause. 5, 4, 3, 2. However you want to get it there, drop the knee down if you need. Use the hand if you have to grab and bring that foot to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee down, rise up for extended lunge. 3 breaths. Third exhale. Bring the hands down by the front foot. Step back through downward dog. Opportunity for child's pose if you need a moment. Otherwise, rest in down dog. Going to get into the real meat and bones of this session and start working some more core strength, shoulder strength, and some crow practice. So from here, down dog squats. As I say, if you need child's pose at any point, drop to your knees, rest, pause the video. Otherwise, follow with me. Inhale, sit butt to heels. Exhale, push forward through plank. Inhale, butt to heels. Exhale, push through plank. Down dog squats. Exercise that wrist mobility a little. If it is a little tricky through the wrist, don't quite go so far. Stay slightly further back. Last 30 seconds. If your wrists feel good, then try lean way over. But just mainly focus on this squat. This flexibility through the hips, the space for your hips, the lengthening of the lower back and the lumbar spine. In the early days, you're going to be quite stiff here, and this is going to be hard. When you're ready, 3, 2, however you want to get there with a walk, step, or hop, meet me in forward fold. Right wrist to right, right foot to right wrist, left foot to left wrist, slightly wide stance. At this point, you want to get your yoga blocks handy. Feel free to adjust the position on the mat however you see fit and use whatever props, support, regressions, progressions you like at any time. You can return back to this position, forward fold, but if you do have to come standing at any point, make sure you roll up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Otherwise, from forward fold, we're going to take potentially one of those yoga blocks and start to look for yogi squat. So if you're quite tight, feel free to use the block or your tiptoes and find your yogi squat position. You might also like to roll up a little bit of your yoga mat or put some blocks or props, socks, anything that can elevate your heels. So you might start on tiptoes like this until eventually those heels come down and you sit comfortably. Anytime you need, coming back into this position or resting in forward fold as you see fit. But I'm going to run you through some crow drills and progressions. So warm those wrists up, make sure that they feel all right, shake them off. And then the fundamentals for your Bakasana, for crow pose is balance. And if you imagine a table that has really narrow legs, it's going to be quite easy to fall over. So with our stance, the wider our base of support, the wider our hands, the easier it is going to be balanced, the more I spread my weight. So you don't want to go any wider than the mat, but really what we want is the elbows directly over the top of the wrists, and everything stacked symmetrically. And first round, we're not even going to start taking any weight out. We're just going to get the hands in the right position. Look for symmetry with your elbows over the top of the wrists. I don't want your wrists in and your elbows out. Right, that's going to put bad strain on the wrist. And then I want you to imagine an equilateral triangle. And your head, the crown of your head, the base of your skull is going to go at the top. And the hands form the base of that triangle. So you're going to stand into that slight forward bend. Start shifting the weight onto the tiptoes. Place the knees on your triceps, just above your elbows. And you don't even have to take any weight yet, but just get used to this idea of potentially taking your weight, right? And getting everything symmetrical. And when you find you hold your breath, that's your point of maximum exertion. And you just want to flirt with that and not go too far beyond it. And then eventually from there, you'll start playing with lifting one leg up. Holding. And if you're quite good, you can just jump straight into your crow pose, into Bakasana. But the position we want to stack the knees, to begin with, you can go insides of the knees, the soft spot. But this is a little easier on your bones, but it's not the strong way to do things. over time we're going to get those knees up higher and higher on your triceps, and it might leave a mark or two to begin with and be a bit sore, but it's going to help your bone density. The strength of these bones is going to get stronger, and it's going to be good for you. I know it might feel quite uncomfortable to begin with, but we're here for another minute of practice. So just start by playing with 1 foot at a time and exploring the possibility, not even trying, particularly stretching the wrists when you need, dropping into forward fold. Last 30 seconds. Focusing on getting those wrists right over the elbows, right over the top of the wrists. With the hands, we want to slightly turn the fingers out left and right. And imagine that you're opening like a set of jam jars and just point the fingers slightly out to about 45 degrees rather than fingers just straight forward. That will help you. And then the other last thing on this is that you want to try and squeeze your elbows towards each other slightly. It's easy for the elbows to start to fall out wide, especially as they've got the weight on them. But if you can grip your elbows towards each other, it's going to help keep you more stable and balanced. Nicely done. Rest. In squat, feel free to rest. In forward fold. Stage 2, and then potentially back into your squat on the block, just to make life easier. Stage 2, we're going to take those yoga blocks and from your forward fold, just drop onto your knees, shake off for a moment as we have 3 sets of this in total to practice. But set 2, you take your 2 yoga blocks and set them up so that you could potentially stand on them or squat on them, right? Now, obviously, your balance is going to need to be better the higher you make them, and I wouldn't want to, challenge you too much, but once you can find yourself on your yoga blocks, from there, we can just keep our toes on them and find our crow pose. So we're just going to practice crow with our feet on those yoga blocks and hold for a longer period of time. Rather than flirting and playing, this time we're in, and we're going to try and hold it. And if you can't get the blocks up higher, obviously the lower you go, the easier it's going to be. So standing on those yoga blocks, find the position that's comfortable for your elbows and hold it for a full 30 seconds. Coming on and off as much as you need with your wrists, back into squat, potentially into forward fold, if you need that moment. The higher those blocks go, the harder it's going to be until you can go no feet. Use the block to catch yourself. And then when you're ready, rest it out, yogi squat. Amazing work. Breathe, we've got 1 final set to play, just for good measure, and then we're going to go flat back and chill out. Awesome work. Whilst you're in squat, feel free to throw some variations in and some stretches. We're going to start with some rotations. Inhale, one arm up. Exhale, down. Inhale, other arm up. Exhale, down. Maybe just holding, pushing the triceps into the insides of your knees, squeezing your knees against your triceps, pushing with both your arms but also your knees and contracting for about 5 to 10 seconds. Give those wrists one last little shake, roll off, forward fold, and then we're going to go one last round of crow. So full crow pose this time, Bakasana. Wherever you're at in your practice, if you were good with set 1, do that again. If set 2 was the right spot for you, practice that. Otherwise, this time, we're going to look to hold our full crow. So if you need your blocks, feel free to use those for your feet. Otherwise, start to take your knees onto the elbows. Maybe you keep the feet on the floor and just get this blood flow to the brain, this activation of strength through the shoulders. Maybe we lift one foot and the other foot. Maybe we're on those blocks, or maybe we can fly. A lot of the strength and the balance comes from the fingertips, and also getting up quite high. The higher we can be, the easier we're going to balance. Whereas if I'm down here, it's going to be very easy to keep falling backwards and forwards. But it is a little easier on your elbows. So find the right spot. Last 30 seconds of practice before you go to the floor. Be brave, be strong. And then when you're ready, gently drop back into yogi squat. Roll those wrists out. However you want to get there. Drop down onto your butt. Take the legs out in front of you. And we'll just take a little stretch for those hips to finish. From here, bring the right foot over the top of the left leg. Half cow face pose, big inhale. Reach the arms up, potentially with a yoga strap, or just landing on your shin. Maybe you can reach for the big toes. Optional progression. For the last minute, we can swing round into cow face pose. Otherwise, if you can't quite make that, stay with the leg out in front. And then if you feel comfortable, you can start to fold forwards. Furthest progression, you can start twisting. It'll be right hand behind, left arm up, hook the left arm over the top of the right thigh. And maybe, if you're super crazy, you thread the left arm through the hole, join the fingers behind your back, and find your bind. Pretty hard to breathe there. Strong lungs, strong digestive system. Really deep twist. When you're ready, relax flat back. Well, shake the legs off, not quite yet. Shake the legs off out in front of you. We're going to repeat the same game on the other side. I'll let you figure out which leg you just did and which leg you're going to do. This time should be left foot over the top of the right leg. Cross the legs nice and tight. Sit nice and up straight. Lead with the chest, the heart. Big inhale, rise up. Nose towards the toes. And then gently from there, If you can, swing it round into full cow face pose, into Gomukhasana. And then from your cow face pose, you can add the forward fold or add your twist. Amazing work, really well done. When you're ready, gently swing the legs around out in front of you, come flat on your back into Savasana, and let the spine melt as you hit the deck, vertebrae by vertebrae. Let your body come to rest. Take the feet out into the corners of the mat, and then finish with at least 3, but potentially 5, 10 rounds of Ujjayi breath. Breathing fully in to your full capacity. Hold the inhale for a moment or two, and then big sighs of relief. What we call in Western anatomy and physiology, voluntary respiration. Just intentionally trying to get as much oxygen into your body and as much carbon dioxide and toxins out of it through intentional breathing. It also forces you to concentrate, strengthens your mind, and slows down the thinking process. Whenever you've completed your 3 to 5, 10 breaths in your own time, you gently take any movements you feel like making, roll yourself onto one side, and ease yourself up. Really well done. Thank you for letting me share that practice with you. I hope you enjoyed it and feel good for it. Have fun with it. Amazing work.